want another heartbreak. Oh, sorry you. So what do you got going on? Like, what's interesting? Help me. What do you got?
I'm still watching Atlanta, but I'm almost done.
I was in Atlanta
this
past week for a work trip, and I thought about you with Atlanta.
Did you have, dreamlike experiences that are not real life? Because, wow.
Yeah, and I rode... Okay.
Okay.
Atlanta has a subway called the MARTA.
Okay.
Now, I'm going for, like, corporate schmorpert job.
Yeah.
So we take Ubers from the airport and we all whatever. But one lady gets car sick, and so she's like, I'm taking the MARTA, and traffic's really bad in Atlanta, so to go back to the airport when we're all done, like the day is done and we're all heading to the airport. And she's, I don't know, she's kind of one of those people that like was like leading the charge the whole weekend, so we're like, okay, fine, whatever you say, lady boss.
Okay.
Who is not our boss, but whatever.
Right.
And so we're like, and I'm always, in my mind, I'm always the person who's like, oh God, I don't want to be like the jerk that's like, F the subway, like.
Right.
What? But
you're like, I did my time at the subway in New York City.
Well, kind of. I was like, I used to walk to work because I couldn't afford the subway. I'm taking a fucking Uber. We're reimbursing this. Anyways, so we take the subway, and apparently it's like a little rough or whatever. I mean, I'm like, again, I've lived in so many cities. Every subway's rough.
Yeah.
But because we all like looked corporate-y, and then of course we talked to like corporate-y, we basically had some random woman come up to us and like scream at us and tell us to like shut the F up and we're annoying and we're the worst. And I was like, I kind of get it. And I thought this could be like a really good Atlanta story about how all 12 of these random corporate schmorpert people had to go on the subway because this weird lady gets car sick and somehow we all followed her. And I just kept thinking, I should have just took a friggin' Uber. Why am I with these people?
That's the lesson learned.
But I thought Donald Glover could do a good episode on that lady and how, like, up until that point, like, maybe she just got fired from a corporate job. And then, like, we all 12 of us walked in, you know?
I just watched the episode where they were all saying there was a killer who was going around killing people who had done Soldier Boy videos online. And then, Ern and Darius, like, go to get shoes from a shoe guy in a van, and then the man's like, it's free, but you gotta kiss. And then they're like, ah! Oh my God, it's so funny. It was great. Every episode, I'm like,
it's so good.
A+. It's an A+ for me.
It's so good because every plot line feels new.
Yeah.
You know, you see these, like, shows and you're like, we all know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Everything feels totally unique.
Yeah, I don't always know what's gonna happen. Sometimes shit happens and I'm like, huh? Like, oh my God, the one episode where it was about, like, freaking Van, who's, like, being, like, Amelie in France, and, like, all the girls are, like, just following her around, and it's, like, crazy shit, and then the two cousins, like, sit down to a dinner, and it's fucking hands!
Yeah.
It's fried hands! And the girl goes, what are you gonna do? You're gonna eat hands? You're just gonna live in France and eat hands with your daughter? And then she was like, oh, I guess I won't. Oh my God. Oh, I love that show. But one thing that I might have to take a pause, even though I'm like right at the end, is the new Sopranos, the Making of Sopranos documentary, I think came out today.
Whoa.
On HBO. And I'm trying to hop on it, okay? 2 episodes.
I gotta tell you, we've been talking about Atlanta since the Garden State episode, and this is 2 episodes later, and I'm ready for you to do a new show.
It is amazing when I listen back to old episodes, and it's like, blah, 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 Sopranos, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, Lord,
Degrassi, blah, 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 blah.
Well, I will always talk about Degrassi anytime, anywhere. I'm ready. Sorry, we'll be done soon with Atlanta.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters. sisters who've seen it.
Hello!
Hello there. Oh, welcome back, listeners. I know, I wish I had cat ears. I feel like that would be apropos.
We're wearing witch hats. We have brooms.
Whoa.
We're dancing naked under the full moon.
I mean, it sounds fun.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Are you?
Are you ready?
Who's ready? I'm ready. So are the listeners ready?
I think I meant the listeners, but it came off like you.
I panicked. I'm sorry.
This was a lot. So let's do this.
Okay, well, I'm gonna introduce ourselves because, I mean, we are witches for sure,
Definitely.
but we're not these witches.
Definitely.
But we are the sisters who've seen it.
Oh.
The podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And it's the way you love me. It's
centrifugal.
This
centrifugal
bliss.
Motion.
Oh, centrifugal. What the fuck did I
Impossible.
say?
This kiss.
Oh, wow.
Unstoppable. So
it was unstoppable. Guys, the song was correct. Did Cheryl write that song for this movie? Because I was like, the lyrics are a little too on the nose.
What's our movie, Kate?
Okay, the movie this week is the 1998 Warner Brothers Studios Practical Magic. And no, there is no Six Flags Great Adventure Practical Magic ride, okay?
I don't think anyone was thinking that, but
in case you were, like I thought of for 1 second. Yeah.
I'd like to change the name of this movie.
It should be
Trauma Magic.
I was gonna say,
so
or like
much trauma.
Fuck up your life magic.
This is like oh no, my life is terrible magic.
No, it really is like very generational trauma.
There is so
like,
much trauma that we in the 90s just like skipped with Dr. Peppers and Cheetos over, and I'm like, watching this as an adult, I was like, holy hell.
Yeah, like somebody could make a kill count of this movie because there's like multiple deaths.
If
like,
there was
characters die.
If
you guys.
Is that Shania Twain? It's the way.
Yeah.
If Shania Twain was replaced by like it's
Michael
a horror
Myers?
film. This is a horror film.
Yes.
You're doing the synopsis.
Okay. All
But
right.
before you do it, I just want to say one thing. I
Please
sent
do.
you an Instagram. There was a professional witch who did consult them.
Thank God.
Okay? And her name, I sent it to you, was like, oh God, of course, I can't get this wrong, and I'll tell you why I can't get this wrong. Because, oh my God, there's a story. Dawnia Adams. So it's like Dawn, Dawnea, and then Adams, Adams. Go find her on Instagram.
Okay.
She was the consultant, and they like didn't pay her as much as she wanted, so she
Did
put
you
a
hex
hex
them?
on the director and the film, and then the legal team got so nervous that they paid her. So I'm just gonna go down the rabbit hole on this woman.
Doing witchcraft correct, you know? Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if it was the same woman as the one who worked with the crafts, because there was someone who did the
didn't
craft.
recognize her face.
Okay.
From, I don't know, like, I wasn't reading that she did other stuff too, but it was like the Witch of Malibu or something. I think that's her like nickname.
Cool.
But yeah, give us this horror, trauma, death comedy.
I'm gonna try to summarize because there's a lot of plot, and one thing to note is I believe this was based off of a book? Question mark.
Yes.
At the
But
beginning.
it took a lot of creative liberties. An Alice Hoffman book.
Okay, yeah, I assume there was. We had to figure some stuff out because, I mean, there were parts where I was like, we're zooming. I'm lost. Now we have children. Now we're grandmas. I don't know. Okay. Start off with witch family lore. Okay? Y'all know about lore. You're gonna learn today. And the lore is that some distant relative lady, something of this family was accused of being a witch. They were going to hang her. And then she didn't get hung because she floated something. I'm going to have questions also.
The rope just did it. The rope just, like, broke.
That's what it looked like to me.
I guess she, like, cut it with her magic?
I just thought somebody tied it wrong, but everyone was like, wow, witchcraft. But then she doesn't get murdered, and she is banished on an island, and then she's preggers, and then her man friend never reappears, so she puts a family curse on the family that says whoever her, like, descendants fall in love with, that person's gonna die. And
what? That
now? Yeah.
What kind of grandma is that?
Right. Yeah, because you know how exactly. Like, this is where we should have worded things differently, right? Like, I hope all my descendants have lovers who love and respect them and make them feel nice all the time. I don't understand why we need death, but we did, okay? Yeah. Because we need people to die, all right? And people die. And there's a beetle, a Death Watch beetle. Do you think they sell this at the witch store near you? You're going to have to ask.
I don't want it, that beetle. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want anyone to die.
That's fucking scary. And basically it, like, makes a little, like, clicking noise, and that signals when the person that whoever the family's in love with is going to die. And it's always like women are in love with men. Like, there's only ladies in this family, which is also, I don't know, but fine. So there's a lot of deaths. So basically our main characters are Sally, which is Sandra Bullock, and Jilly, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Gillian, but she calls her, like, Jilly every now and then.
It was Nicole Kidman. They spell it Gillian, and it does bother me. So that's why I just had it to pause. But
Got it.
Sally and Gillian.
Wow, you're turning into me.
Yeah. And they, you know, their dad dies because of the beetle shit. Then the mom is sad, and I guess she dies off screen. We don't fucking know. And then she's raised by her witch aunts, who are also famous actresses, Dianne Wiest and Stockard Channing. And they're a fucking time, I gotta say.
They were so fun.
They're like, this is the family history. Anyway, you're witches. Anyway, who needs homework? Who needs a graduation diploma? Let's be witches. And they're like, wee! But they grow up, and then they kind of, like, start to live different lives. So Jillian is like, I'm gonna go off with this man, and, like, goodbye, home, love you. But then she doesn't stay with that man. She kind of is just somewhere dating people, and then she's, like, not at home. Whereas Sandra Bullock, is like, wah, I'm at home with my aunts, and I'm an adult, and I'm super sad. So this is
talk about meddling.
We have to talk about this.
If our mom had witch powers, do you think she'd do this?
She would have done this on me, like, immediately, and I would have ran up and made out with someone so fucking foul. And I'm, like, so glad this isn't a thing. The aunts put a spell on... Is it her and him, or is it just him? Or is it her? Or who is it? Is it both?
I think it's both.
All right, they put a spell on her and a random man that they see in town that they'll fall in love, and they fucking do. And they get married, and they have 2 daughters, and you're like, they're so happy, everything's great. Oh, fuck, it's the first 15 minutes of the movie. It's not gonna be good. And then the goddamn Death Beetle shows up, and that guy dies, and then it turns into Sad Sally time.
That could have been the whole movie.
It could have been.
It was the first 14 minutes, and I was like heavy breathing, like, how much more trauma can we endure?
Yeah. I felt like it was just
and both
so
of their
much
parents,
plot.
her mom dying of a broken heart, and, like, everyone's dead.
Yeah, and not enough people cry also, so that's a problem. But here we are. So she's depressed, and then she goes and lives with the aunts, the 2 kids and her and the aunts, and we're all together again. Nicole Kidman's like, I'm here too. I'm dating a trash man. Lo and behold, he acts like trash. And then Sally's like, guess I'll go fucking save you, which also could have been another movie. Alone is saving our sister with witch powers in wherever the fuck we are. But that guy, like, holds him hostage, so then they accidentally kill him, and then they're kind of like, we're gonna cover it up. And they kind of do, but then, like, weird shit starts to happen. And then an investigator, a private, or a police officer, I don't know, man comes, and then Sally's like, I got the hots for him. something witches. And then it's like, we're covering shit up. We're hiding kids from being witches. The aunts are like, let's be witches. And the aunts are like, we know shit, but we don't know shit. And we're leaving by. And they disappear. And the officer's like, this town is crazy and I don't fucking know. And it's, that's another movie, by the way. That whole fucking plot.
You know, the book piece makes sense why this is so chaotic.
There's no way. Like, this is so much shit. And I don't even know how to summarize it because you think that would be it, where it's like, keep the murder away from the police officer. No, guys, then we have to have an exorcism. You didn't know we were going to have a witch exorcism via broom magic? We are. And then, I think, maybe, in the end, Sally doesn't get arrested. Nobody gets arrested. And then the police officer's like, let's make out forever. And she's like, deal. And I think I got it all.
Holy. Did you hear that?
I mean, practical magic, more like practically...
drama.
Practically, fucking filled in, man.
Okay. Minus all the endless trauma, I had a blast.
No, it's fun. I just, like, it's either I had never watched this fully through, or I don't even know. I thought I knew parts of this movie, but then there were so many parts where I was like, whoa, where are we? And I think, like, if you watch it without caring about the plot... it's a little better because, oh my god, there's just a lot of details.
Okay, I will say that the movie showed it to a bunch of other witches, not just the witch consultant.
Okay.
And they were very happy with the film because men were in the story as accessories and on the sidelines, while females were front and center.
Said
the witches that were in the focus group.
That is a fucking plus. Let's be real. Yeah. And in fact, the first husband that Sandra Bullock has, does he even talk? Does he say words?
Yeah, I feel like he does, but it doesn't, I don't know if I can recall any.
I don't know if I ever see him talking to her, but I don't know. Okay. Where do we start?
Okay.
Where do we start?
Okay, I am a little overwhelmed.
Are we pre-Beetle or post-Death?
Okay, so let's just like take a little pause to your point on where the hell are we? I think we're in like Washington State. We're in like Pacific Northwest kind of vibes, and we're by
very Free Willy.
Totally. We're by like kind of the ocean, and like all 90s movies, we're in a mansion. But I guess because we're witches, that's how we have money. Whatever. Okay.
Can I tell you?
Every 90s movie is a mansion, and it's like, I am a bird watcher. You're like, what? How do you pay for this?
That's so true. But also, like, I love this house and I would live
Okay,
here. So they have a
fun fact about the house.
Greenhouse attached to the house.
So the house is not real.
Fuck!
The house is on, like, Native American land, so it wasn't actually, like, allowed to be built. And then there's this crazy story about Barbara Streisand. After seeing this movie, wanted to buy the house, and they were like, B, it's not real. And she was like, oh, snap.
Am I Barbara?
You're Barbara Streisand.
I see. Okay.
It was a beautiful house,
but
though.
like, it just like had really nice landscaping. It was like right next to the ocean. There was a greenhouse.
It was on a cliff. It was it had that cool old colonial like wood feel. The kitchen was huge with the center.
Big island.
Big island. I mean, so one of the things that I think is important to kick this off with is the cast makes this movie. It's a phenomenal cast.
Good people.
And Nicole Kidman, I mean, we're talking she's like early 20s in this. And Sandra Bullock had just done Speed, but she was just coming out with Speed 2, but Keanu Reeves was like, I ain't gonna do Speed 2, and Speed 2 kind of bombed. So Sandra Bullock was like, oh shit, I need to do like any movie, and so she took this one because of Speed 2 failing and being like, wow, I just need like a film.
Thanks,
where
Speed
Nicole
2.
Kidman was more like up and coming. But then you had freaking Dianne Wiest and what's her
Stockard
name?
Channing.
Stockard Channing.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you kicked this off with freaking Rizzo from Grease Lightning. Talk about a witch. It's absolutely Rizzo. If any Grease cast member is going to be a witch, it's Rizzo, right?
I would like to believe that in the Grease universe, Rizzo grew up and was like, all these guys are idiots. I'm going to go be a witch. like in another state. Bye. And she just grew her hair out and wore big hats.
I would
you know?
watch that movie. I would
Me
watch
too.
the Grease to Practical Magic, like biography.
The timeline
the
of when that. Yes.
So it's just like, it's a vibe of women. And then like every 80s, 90s, like parents are dead.
Everyone around you's dying.
Everyone's dead. And we don't even see pictures of them, by the way. It's not even like with Casper, how she's like carrying around pictures of her mom. It's like,
that's right.
We don't, nothing. Like we have no idea at all what they look like, whatever, which makes sense because you have two sisters who literally look nothing like each other.
Okay. And when we saw the flashback, we saw like the parents, but not up close in like a flashback, but we didn't really see their faces. And neither of them had red hair. And then Nicole Kidman shows up with red hair, and the same fucking thing happens to
her daughter.
To Sally when she has kids. And I was is this part of the curse that we get a ginger in the family?
Well,
even though we didn't have a
crazy
ginger
cast
father?
member is Rachel Wood is one of the daughters. Did you know that? She's the redhead. She's the redhead daughter. Yeah, that young. She's like super young.
Oh my god!
Yeah, who's also like a super amazing actor.
Oh my god, I didn't even realize that.
So this was just jam packed with like top tier cast. If this movie was made today, the budget would be like insane because even the side characters were unbelievable. And actually, the irony is most of the men were like meh characters. You know,
they're there. You know,
so yeah, that's important. And then you described well how it starts with the great grandma that just like literally made the worst curse ever. And I don't want to like offend witches, but like, can't you like fight the curse with like more spells or anti-curse the curse? Like, isn't there a witch situation where you're like, we got a crazy like generational trauma that we can just fix? Because they didn't seem to want to fix that.
I do feel like there was like a herb for that, you know, and like we just didn't.
there was.
We just didn't get in there for that. But I also wondered if the two aunts were just kind of like, who needs dating? And I was just like,
they're like, listen.
Okay.
Tinder's
rough out there, you guys.
Yeah.
You know, we can't do it.
And then they definitely had the, like, I feel like very typical sister archetype where it was like Sandra Bullock's the house body who does everything perfect, who's incredible at magic, but like hates men and I never want to fall in love. And so she makes that spell that's like so hard that this isn't even a man. She's like, I've made the most incredible spell to find like this man that doesn't exist, and that's why I'll never fall in love. And then that ends up being the like detective.
Okay. And again, I know she was like an 8-year-old girl at this part in the movie, but also, which questions? Wouldn't you rather make a spell that just says, I hope I never fall in love?
Agreed.
Instead of doing the opposite and being like, I hope I fall in love with bloody bleedy blotty blue.
Totally.
Blah. And I was like, I don't understand what's happening. I literally wrote at one point, I was like, is this a love spell? Question mark. And then it flew away. A lot of leaves flying around. It's very Forrest Gump.
Very Forrest Gump.
Yeah. And
you know what? Now that you're saying it, if they didn't have this house, I don't know if this movie would be as good. It was so pretty to watch.
The house was
I think
pretty.
That's why we accepted all
character.
the deaths so easily. Because like Shania Twain's in the background singing, and then we're looking at freaking hydrangea bushes and white picket fences and the ocean. Honestly, they pulled one over on us.
I did like it. I'm not gonna lie.
I loved it.
Not
I see Rizzo.
gonna lie.
I don't know what's happening. I'm happy.
Well, and then they do grow up, and then it's Sandra and Nicole, and then I thought Nicole Kidman's character, Gillian, I thought she was like eloping, like, I'm gonna go get married, and then I was like, okay, that's part of the plot, but then she wasn't. It was just like a man that she went off with, but before she left, they made a blood pact.
Okay.
We've had lots of movies where we make pacts, and you guys, the pacts that people make are weird. And the pact that they make is that they're gonna grow old together, only them together, which is something they said. And I was like, I hate that part of it. That's weird. And then they said they're both gonna die on the same day. Again, what, guys? Add in that you're gonna be super old and die naturally, peacefully. Like, why we gotta be weird? You know, why do we gotta share blood? I don't know.
I don't know, but it was the thing in the 90s. Like, The Craft did it, where they took the blood, and I gotta gotta say, I think I might have told this story before. As a kid, it was a thing. We would like cut ourselves and do the blood thing.
It's just like
I got some weird stories there. Yeah.
A lot is happening.
Wait, but I didn't finish. So Nicole Kidman's supposed to be like a slut, I guess, in like the shortest way possible of saying it. But I was with you where I was like, but how come none of her lovers died? Is that saying like she never actually falls in love?
I think so. And then I also was wondering if like her witch power was more about like, everybody loves her. She's so flirty. Yeah. But then I was like, I don't know if that's... I think it's just because she's Nicole Kidman.
Like, she's also, like, stunning.
I was going to say, I think it's just because she's, like, you know, looks like how she looks and is who she is. And that's just fine.
Nicole Kidman, like, when I did that work trip, I watched Big Little Lies. I don't know why. I just felt like watching that.
I literally thought of her character for
that's what I was saying. I was like...
Yeah. I was like, Nicole.
Because people play themselves. And I was like, why is Nicole Kidman always playing like an abused woman?
She did date Tom Cruise.
She did marry Tom Cruise. And I'm like, Keith Urban now? Is that who she's with?
Maybe.
He better be in line, okay?
I hope so, because if not, I'm doing a blood pact, and we're gonna do some shit. I don't know.
I was thinking that. I'm like, why is that? Like, why do people look at her and they're like, you're definitely gonna be a perfect abuse
victim?
Yeah.
Well, even the part where, like, who we find out is, like, the trash boyfriend, he, like, puts a blindfold on her, and I was like, it's very eyes wide shut. So no, Nicole, save yourself.
Yeah. But again, the music was like, it's the way you love me. And you're like, okay, I don't know. I guess we're fine. Okay.
But that's what, like, this is everything we've just talked about, listeners. I'm not kidding. It's the first, like, 10 minutes.
Eight minutes.
Because so then the next couple minutes is where it's Sandra, and she's like, woe is me. I'm so sad in our little seaside town, and everyone thinks we're weirdos, and I just want to be normal. And they're like, why don't you get yourself out there? And she's like, ugh, whatever. And then this random man, like, is he new to the town? And then the answer, like, that's the guy.
Okay.
That's him.
We did see when Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman were younger, the aunts had some random woman come to the door, and she was like, I want this. I want him to leave his wife and love me. And so they set the foundation for, like, the aunts meddle in love lives.
And they kill birds while they do it.
Yeah. And the dude the first guy she ends up, like, falling in love with and has the kids with, she just sees him at the farmer's market, and one of Dianne Wiest, like, watches Sandra Bullock look at him and then look at her, and she's like, and then she just, like, stares, and she's like, and I'm like, wait, and that's how you decided that you're gonna put, like, a secret love spell on your niece and then ruin her life?
Yep.
Wait, so it does beg the question, though. Okay, I'm gonna ask it.
Oh, is this the ethical question?
Is it better to have loved and lost, or have never loved at all?
That's actually not at all what I thought you were going to ask me, but I will answer. I think it's better to have loved and lost.
I do too, but then you're like, but there's more pain there. And so...
Well, it's certainly more pain when there's a Death Beetle that's like, hey, I know life was good and you gotta have a family. Guess what, fuckers? I'm gonna kill your husband via bike race and then a truck. And I want to know, did Sandra Bullock sue the fuck out of that truck driver and get billions of dollars? Because you're right, how are we funding this lifestyle? These are the questions. And
by the way, she, like, never ever has a job, and she has, like, two kids.
But she's, like, opening a business, too. She's like, it's an apothecary. And I'm like, I love it, but also, I don't...
Okay. In our movie where Rizzo goes from Greece to here, I see the Schitt's Creek characters intertwining at the apothecary.
Oh my god, David Rose and Stockard Channing.
I love it. I'm just loving this.
They would be such good friends.
Oh my god, they'd be so funny.
I could see it now. Yeah.
So, and her daughters, when her husband dies, they're like 12, 13? I think everybody's 12. Like, how old were they?
So I don't know, because I didn't understand, was it like when the husband died, like they were little, and no, I guess not. I guess like when he died. They were the
age they were the whole movie.
Whole movie. Oh yeah. So they did seem like close to 10. I would say. Which is,
Okay.
that's a long marriage.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, this Death Beetle was just like, this might be your happiest
and
time.
now
Let me show up.
Let's fuck it up. Let's snuff it out. Nobody cries. So, well, Sandra kind of, I guess, cries at some point because we see a whole series of scenes where she's just, like, depressed. And again, the witch ants are like, figure it out. We're busy down here. And I was like, uh-oh.
Well, and I was like, okay, this is somewhat normal. Like, she was like, I was so happy. This was, like, the happiest thing in my life. And now this person's gone. And so I'm, like, super depressed. But you're right. Like, the kids were like, Mom, are you doing okay? And I'm like, didn't they just lose their dad?
Going to school, Mom. Like,
they're like, they're calling us witch. You're a bitch again. And it's like, I'm going to peck someone. But
and she fucking did.
She does. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
If the moon has a red ring on it, shit's going down.
Is that like...
So, like, I want you to look up, and if you see a red ring, text
now,
me. I'll be I'm good. Are you good? And then,
like, are we good? Like, I don't know. Like, I was
know.
like, whoa. I wrote that down because I was like, I should remember this.
I loved it.
I think it has to be a full moon, though. It's not just any moon, right?
Full moon and then a red ring, and that's not good.
Is it even a ring? I thought, or a red ring? I thought it was just a ring.
It was a red ring.
Oh God, we're gonna have to research this.
We're definitely gonna have to research this. But every single thing in this movie, whether it was magic or like witch family inside scoop or whatever, they never. Everything in their mind was always like Gillian, and then they'd run because they saw the red ring on the moon, or like, oh my God, the Beatles here. Like everything was so
they always knew.
Intuitive.
Oh, intuitive. Yeah, that's a good word for it.
And I just was like, okay, but like, I don't know what.
Yeah.
That's probably why we loved the margarita scene, because we were so fucking traumatized by the rest of this movie.
They're actually, like, having fun. Wait, I do have to mention, though, because, again, this was a moment where I was like, do I know this movie at all? When Sandra's husband dies, and then Nicole Kidman comes to visit because Sandra's depressed, and the aunts are like, we're not dealing with it, figure it out. And they're like, la la la, we're bonding. And this is where we hear about Nicole Kidman's boyfriend, who we saw some scenes, but like not much. And she says like, he never sleeps, and he's from Transylvania? And I literally was like, is he Dracula? Because
I'm Googling that right now.
I believe
Nobody picked that up either.
But like, and then later in the movie, there's shit where he like isn't dead.
Oh my God.
And I was like, is it because we didn't kill him the correct vampire way? And then there's some shit about a mirror and silver. I don't fucking know, guys. I needed an edible for some parts of this movie. So anyway, I'm sorry. I just had to mention
there is lots of internet like posts on this. I
just
think
was like,
Jimmy was supposed to be a vampire.
Yes!
Oh my God, this is
and then later when the police officer is like, hey, there was another woman who we found strangled to death, but she had a weird mark on her. And I was like, was it a bite mark in her neck like a vampire, you dingus? Like, what do you mean? But
you dingus?
Wasn't.
Oh my God.
Listen, I don't know, but pretty quickly we do get to the point where, yes, Sandra has an intuitive moment of my sister's in trouble, and she's like, she's in like a motel wait, hold on. Okay, maps. It's map time.
Oh, I don't know where they were. They all of a sudden
were
driving in the desert, and that is not near Washington.
I thought they were in Arizona. They did say the name Arizona.
That's like an 18-hour drive to go up that way. No way.
And I love how when Sandra's on the phone with her and she's like, I gotta go help her, the aunts don't give a fuck. They're just like, good luck. We're gonna hang here.
They don't care. And also,
we're not gonna ask what happened.
Well, and I guess like they were babysitting. I mean, we didn't, I don't know.
Those kids were Matilda. They're raising themselves at this point.
Okay, they kind of were, because she was like, chocolate for breakfast, and we never have bedtime. And
they're gonna shake Sonora in that living room. Oh my God, it's bad.
She goes 18 hours somehow in like an hour. And then we've learned that the intense, sexy, evil boyfriend, she's been like feeding belladonna, which is as you call it, herb.
A herb.
And it puts him to sleep, and that's actually, shit, Kate, he never goes to sleep either.
And it was really dark. Wait, and it was super dark whenever we saw them hanging out.
That's right.
And he was like in the shade when he first saw her. And I just was literally like,
oh, he's
is there about to be fucking vampires on here? But then we didn't see any bats. We just see some toad shit. And I was like, it's a metaphor, but I don't know about it. Well,
okay, sorry.
I was also just confused because, so Sandra gets to the motel room. She just busts in. Nicole's like cowering in a corner, but no one else is there. And I was like, okay, it's really easy for us to leave now. Here we go. And then she's like, I gotta get my tiger eye. Something. And
so
it's like,
annoying.
okay, bitch, go get that. We could literally buy a new one, but it's fine. Go get that. And then this is where she gets held hostage. And did he have like a gun? What did he have?
I think
a knife?
so. I think it was a gun.
Was it a vampire gun? Okay. But this turns into, and I guess Sandra rented a car, ? Because then we all get into his car.
Yeah.
And he forces Sandra to drive them. I don't know where.
I don't know.
I don't really understand.
I felt like he was driving them somewhere in the middle of nowhere to like
kill them.
Kill them.
Oh, okay. Well, and then there's a scene where they're pulled over and he's peeing, and I was like, why aren't they driving away? But he had the keys.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess so. And then that's when they're like, we're gonna drug him, and he just gets in the car and starts choking Nicole Kidman. Like, out of nowhere. And I was like, whoa, okay. And then he dies, allegedly. But
well, because they gave him too much of that stuff.
Yeah.
So then, by the way, now I'm thinking of the Sundance film we watched.
Love Lies Bleeding?
Love Lies Bleeding.
Where it's like, what do I do with the dead body?
What do I do with the dead body?
Oh, yeah.
And
there's a lot better things they could have done with this dead body than what they fucking tried to do. I'll tell you that.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I was thinking, Kate, if you and I are as part of a murder, and you say, hey, we got to get rid of the body, and, we're spitballing, we're brainstorming, and you're like, we got to bury it, and I'm like, I'm listening, and you're like, either at my house or at yours. I'd be like, absolutely not. That's the last place
they should have left his fucking body.
Do that.
They should have left his body at that weird like factory that they were at, because that's literally where he dies. They were like at some weird location. And I was like, nobody's gonna find his body. For a long time.
Never thought, we have his car. Why don't we just like get out of the car and put him in the front seat and just leave?
When the
it's
police
1998.
officer,
there's no fingerprints. Like
when the police officer was like, that's like the guy's car, and they both like, oh, I was like, guys. What do you mean?
So then they are like,
plans,
I'll
magic.
go bury this at our aunt's house.
No,
and
their first plan is to try to resurrect him so that then he's not dead. But we learned from the ants that if it's Pet Cemetery rules, if you resurrect something, it comes back really bad. And
that's exactly
it's like
immediately happens.
He's already bad, so like who cares? And I was like, did you remember when you got choked? What do you mean? Like I don't understand. Like what do you think he's just gonna like mosey on out?
Yeah, I didn't think that either. Especially as a vampire.
He's gonna fly away. He's gonna bat away.
I don't think so.
No.
But he gets, they're right. He comes back to life and he immediately chokes her, and then they have to kill him again. But she bops him on the head with a cast iron pan. That'll get you.
Yeah. Make sure you got one of those at your house, guys, because you never know when you're going to need to kill someone. Yeah.
And then they're like, well, since we're here and he's dead for the second time, let's bury him in the backyard. Now, everyone's still sleeping? Or where did they leave the house?
The ants went with the two kids to some, like solstice ceremony, something.
Where they jump off the roof naked? Or they were dancing under the full moon naked?
Yeah, and I think it was not, like, they weren't at the house.
Got it. So no one's at the house. They bury it. Everything's fine. And then weird shit starts happening after. And the ants are like, I'm not dealing with your shit. Which I'm like, they clearly know everything, right?
I thought that they did. And then the margarita scene, it's like, la, 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 we're all having fun. And then it gets like a little like...
trippy.
Well, yes, but it also... what is it reminding me of? It's like when like everyone turns into like a mean drunk. And you're like, hey, you don't need to say that. Oh, but you said it. And like, whatever. And like, that's what happens for a little. But then they're all giggling. And you're like, I guess it's cool. And then the ants basically are like, yeah, we found this bottle of tequila on the doorstep, girls. Anything you want to tell us? The vampire come out at night. It was nighttime.
Yo,
All
in
right?
real life, they actually got drunk.
Thank God.
Nicole Kidman was like, let's get drunk. And they did.
Good for her.
I mean,
she had some sense in her. She was probably like, guys, remember how I get beat up in this movie? I need a drink. Let's go.
Also, she did get a concussion from her exorcism scene.
Oh.
She, like, smashed her head on the ground, and she, like, did get a concussion.
She was thrashing. Damn.
She was thrashing.
Holy shit.
I don't know. Something's there.
Yeah, but the ants, here's the thing. The ants were they enablers?
Absolutely.
Okay, and we know the rule. You only enable if it's funny. I don't know if this is very funny to be enabling, given the circumstances. If this is goddamn Dracula we're dealing with, like, we need backup forces. We need, like, the people. We need to know what's happening.
Also,
and they just leave.
Maybe I've lived in cities too long. If there's tequila on the back porch, I'm not touching that. Somebody pissed in that.
And I thought it was going to be poisoned, and then I thought it was, like, truth serum, and then I thought, I don't know, something else. I had a lot of incorrect guesses.
Who's the Van Helsing? What We Do in the Shadows? Guillermo. Guillermo shows up and he's like, I have a tequila bottle.
I would
for
die.
My master.
He just like jumps in through the window, like, this is for you guys. You know,
he's like, I'll protect you.
Oh my god, I love him.
So, now all of a sudden there's like again more beautiful landscape. Like roses come up, and then they're mad. There's roses, and then it's like boots start to like. He's like rising from, I don't even know what's happening, but all this nonsense, that's enough. Then the agent shows up, and the agent's like, hey, I need to ask you about why you have this missing man's car who killed someone, because that's shady. And then Sandra Bullock's like,
boyfriend,
there was a point to that spell as a little kid. Now I can only tell this man the truth. And Nicole Kidman's like, what's wrong with you? And
wait, was that part of the spell? Was that she would tell the truth to whoever that person was?
I think it was something like he could never tell a lie or something, and I guess, I don't know, I don't know.
Okay, I didn't realize that, but that makes a lot more sense. I thought she was just like, tee-hee, hot man, and I was like,
no,
Sandra!
I think she was like, oh, this is my spell, this is like the love of my life, and I don't know if she specifically said like, I can't lie. She said to him, he doesn't tell a lie, but I'm assuming if she's so magically head over heels in love, why would she want to lie? 'Cause she's like so in love, you know? She just doesn't realize why.
I love how her kids too were like, tee-hee, we found mom's diary, and
love that.
Look at this page that we bookmarked, and then Nicole Kidman's like, oh yeah, that's the spell, and then the kids are like, he's flipping pancakes, blue eye, green eye, raw star, and you're like, whoa. Okay.
Well, and then they try to poison him with the syrup, and the kids throw it in the ocean. I was like, Nicole Kidman is going to jail. Like, no one is helping Nicole Kidman right now.
I did think it was funny how this whole part, like, I don't think Nicole Kidman was worried about going to jail. I feel like Sandra was like, no, I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
It'll only be me. And I was like, I feel like it's both of you, but
yeah,
it's fine. This part was kind of funny, though, because the cop is, like, hanging out in the town, and he's trying to, like, talk with the townspeople, and all the townspeople are like, they're crazy. They float around on Halloween, and they make placenta bars. And he was like, what the fuck?
And they're basically like, they're witches, they're insane. All the men that end up with them are dead, and he's like, what?
Yeah, he's like, and I was like, you know what, this is helping their case, because y'all are uncredible, crazy people.
Yeah.
And I cannot with it. But yeah, the straw that breaks the camel's back for him, because at first he's like, Sandra, I'm into it. You know, girl, let's like, I'll have pancakes at your house. He was
definitely into it.
Like, I'm into it. And then, yeah, when the little girls throw away the hexed or some shit syrup, he's like, that's weird. And then there's a toad that barfs up the guy's ring. And that is the moment where the guy is like, you better get a lawyer, because this toad shit is out of control. And I was like, why was the toad the straw that broke the back? I don't know. That's weird. It's fucking crazy. But then Sandra's like, that's it. I gotta go find him, and I'm gonna yell at my sister for being annoying. And then she goes, and there's this whole thing about how he got her letter. She sent Nicole Kidman a letter However, letter's a strong word. It felt more like an Emily Dickinson poem of, you know, our hearts and feelings. And she just was like, I'm so sad and like, you know, I'm all alone and I just wish I could find the person who loves me and then my husband's dead and I'm sad, blah, blah. And you're like, that's nice. And he apparently like read the letter 8 billion times.
I thought that was awkward.
Isn't that a federal offense, tampering with mail?
I get you're like a detective trying to find clues. That's a one and done. We don't need to do more. That's weird.
And then we later find out that he might have done that because of her spell. Because she at one point is like, we'll never know if you actually are like into me or if it's just the spell. And then he's like, yeah. And then they both are like, all right, deuces. And then you're like, what? That's actually post where I thought Dracula boyfriend who started to live inside Nicole Kidman, I thought he died because I thought he touched silver, and that's like a vampire wolf man something. And then the policeman saw that and he was like, that was witch shit.
Yeah.
Let's make out.
The only part I kind of was annoyed about is like Sandra Bullock is just running through this town, jumping on random men and making out with them.
She has done that twice already. Yeah.
And we're all saying it's like the spell. And if I acted like that and just told everybody I'm a witch, and that's that, I don't know if that would fly.
I don't know if that's the alibi to use, you know? It's just a spell, you guys.
So I'm glad that this guy was able to see some crazy shit because, you know, they were definitely going to go to jail. Like, she did not help herself. She definitely was like, yeah, I murdered him and we did this and this is how we did it and here's the knife in the library with Mr. Magoo, you know?
It really was Clue at some points. And they had a lovely mansion they could have played the game in.
Okay, but so then while Sandra Bullock's just making out and sending her and Nicole Kidman to jail. Nicole Kidman's getting possessed. And then we don't have the intuition when that's happening because we're like distracted by our love. And then when we go back, she sees her and she's like, oh no, she's possessed. So we have to get a bunch more women because we need more power, but they're not witches, but they can have like witch power. Sweetie, I'm there. If some witch ladies like
put me on the call list,
female power, I'm like, I'm there.
I need to bring a broom. I'll be there. Yeah. Well, and the ants finally show their fucking faces again. They were off in Vegas gambling or some shit, and they're like, anyway, we're back now. Oh, she's possessed. All right, get up some people. And they turn to Sandra. They go, you got any friends? I was like, she definitely doesn't.
Doesn't.
She just calls like a bunch of PTA moms who were all like really fucking rude to her throughout the movie. But for whatever reason, they're all like, all right, we're doing it for the story. Here we go.
Honestly,
that's like, okay.
That works.
It does work.
It works.
And I just love how the ants like don't give a shit about any of the random people. They're like, yeah, get in here, ladies. Start stirring this cauldron of shit. Here we go. That's right. Hold a broom. That's right. Say the chant. Here we go. It's a good time.
I mean, that's all you do. We learned this in Hocus Pocus. You have to have like a circle of salt, a circle of brooms. Whatever you need, it's a circle. If Nancy's coming at you in the craft, you need a circle.
Circle it up. Yeah. And the more women you had, the stronger it was. Because they were like, we need 9. And then they're like, 12 would be better. And I was like, is it divisible by 3? What's the math? I don't know. But yeah, we got brooms. And they're basically like, they circle up via broom, and it's, I don't know, they're chanting some shit, and then it's like crazy, and then Sandra's like, no, you're killing her, and it's very drama.
I mean, Nicole Kidman, though, did some insane acting.
It really did remind me of do you remember in Moulin Rouge where she was like pretending to have an orgasm at one point and she was like, yeah, brah, and like going crazy and stuff. That's what it reminded me of. And I was like, oh, that was fun, but this isn't fun because you're
this was not fun. I'm trying to look at her like movie, like how
I want to know when Eyes Wide Shut came out because I'm telling you, like she went through some shit. Man.
She's got some themes. Okay.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, interesting. So this was... Okay, so To Die For was 1995.
Okay.
Do you know that one?
No.
Eyes Wide Shut is 1999, so a year after this.
After that, so she was already dating Tom Cruise. So we all know what the method acting inspiration was for this possession
And
scene.
Moulin Rouge is 2001, and then she did The Hours.
Oh.
Okay, like Cold Mountain.
When was The Others? The Others was early 2000s.
Yeah, The Others was 2001. Yo, she
did The Hours and The Others in the same year?
No, The Hours is 2002.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, she just plays like insane people.
Yeah, dude.
Nicole Kidman, let's give it up.
But, Bridge, what really saves Nicole Kidman?
I don't know, actually.
Oh.
Can you help me? Because I got lost. It was just they were chanting and then, like...
I thought it was the blood pact. They do a second
That's right.
blood pact.
Then she grabs the hand.
Is that how blood pacts work? Where you're like, oh, the first one didn't work. Let's do another to
But they didn't cut it. Did she cut it? And then, or did she just grab her hand?
No, I thought I thought they did cut it again, but now I'm blacking out, so I'm not really sure. But it was some shit. And then the evil boyfriend, who's not Dracula, but I still think he might
turns into dust.
He turns to dust, and they're all like, all right, ladies, grab your brooms. And they're haphazardly sweeping. This is not how you sweep your floors, people.
Yo.
Just whipping the dust he's settling in the bookcase. Okay, bits of him are on the mantle. We need a Swiffer. Get it together. And they just fucking broom him outside, and they pour
You're like, there's his
on him.
fingernails, there's his hair follicles,
he's over
there's
there.
his toes.
He's looking at me on the TV. I don't like it. It's bad. But they pour some shit on him, and I guess he's dead. Question mark. And then they're burning shit, and I was like, is that more killing of dust? What do you mean? I don't know.
It was just a big dust cloud, and they're like, let's go, ladies! And then it's like, it's the way you love me. I was like, okay.
Well, immediately after it's Nicole Kidman's like, ooh, you got a letter that's like, hey, the guy wasn't murdered. He died accidentally, and you're not going to jail. And then she was like, oh, what a guy. Like, again, low bar. He didn't send me to jail, and now I love him. Although she did love him before, to be clear.
Okay, so, okay. I'm a detective. I'm detecting and find out from this town that, like, anyone that is with these women, they die.
They do.
And then he's like, I'm really pulled to you to be, like,
I'm really into it.
And then he continues to be into it. But isn't he thinking, oh, this means I just signed up for a death wish?
I feel
he
like,
has
yes.
The facts. The other ones did not know.
There was a Death Beetle. But the curse gets broken. Something blood pact. Yeah.
The blood pact broke the curse?
Did the exorcism via second blood pact. They're just making shit up as they go, and like they were like, it's broken, the curse is lifted. And I was like,
they know?
I don't know, maybe the Beetle told, I don't know. The Beetle's like, I'm done with y'all, I gotta go. I don't fucking know, but I think that was part of it. And then she goes to him, and they fucking make out in front of her entire family. And then it's like, now they're in love. Okay. And I was like, oh, okay.
I'm reading it. The curse is broken when Sally and the townswomen form a coven to exorcise Jimmy's spirit. Yeah. That's our brother Jimmy.
Oh, not that. Oh, God. Oh, no. And then they do I didn't write the poem down. They do a cute little poem at the end where it's like, always remember to throw salt over blue, something, sage, lavender, and to fall in love. And I was like, I'll try to remember. And then they fucking fly in front of the town, and everybody likes it now, I think.
Wait, I have it.
Okay.
Always throw spilled salt over your left shoulder. Keep rosemary by your garden gate. Plant lavender for luck. And fall in love whenever you can.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
You might as well fall in love because
for this woman to get her money from Warner Brothers, I'm into it. I pay her everything.
Yeah.
Follow her on Instagram. Let's all ride this ride together.
I'm fucking ready.
Okay, cool.
Wow. Well,
Pritch,
what do you think? Would you watch or don't watch?
I think you could watch it, but I think when you're an adult, it's jarring.
Yeah.
I'd watch it. I'd actually actively seek it out and watch it, but I'd have to be, like, in the mood. you know?
Yeah.
Like,
It's just got like spoopy vibes, but it's not.
yeah, it's kind of just like, I just like Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman, if I'm going to be real.
Yeah.
How about you?
I agree. I do still feel like, you know, everyone should go see a witch therapist in this movie. But that could be
definitely.
That could be the sequel, I suppose, where it's like, all right, now we're gonna deal with all that shit.
Love that.
I would watch it again though. Love fucking witches, man.
Why not? They're fun.
Whew. Well, Bridge.
Yes.
It's my pick.
I'm ready.
Okay, let me pull it up. So
Put
this
the lime
in the coconut. Oh, you know what's funny? There's a very there's definitely a iconic song from this movie. All right, this movie, we're going back to 1994, staying in the 90s, y'all.
Oh, okay.
Wow. I swear to God, IMDb must have added like stupid ass categories for how they label movies, because it used to only be like movies would have 1 or 2. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 labels. And the first one I don't understand. High concept comedy. But then the next one says slapstick. Those sound opposite. Then the next one says superhero, which I don't know if I agree with. Then the next one says action, maybe. Next one says comedy, definitely. Next one says crime, perhaps.
Okay, I'm tired.
Last one says fantasy.
Okay,
Did you get
I'm
all
tired.
that?
What is
There's
this?
a quiz. Okay.
I don't know.
I would label this a comedy. This is a very iconic actor who was killing it in the 90s and very known for his comedic roles. We definitely watched this as a family. I feel like it was like a car movie we would watch.
Oh boy.
I don't want to say the main person because you're going to know, and I feel like if I say the main female, you're going to know.
Female?
There's like a female character that is pretty iconic. So I'll read you the one sentence. Bank clerk Stanley Ipkiss is transformed into a maniac superhero when he wears a mysterious
Mask!
We're watching
Cameron
The Mask.
Diaz's The Mask!
Yes!
Oh, wow.
I think this was Cameron Diaz's first movie, too.
Oh my god. We watched so many Jim Carrey movies.
Yeah, there were so many.
I
in the
thought
90s.
you were going to do Liar Liar. I was like, wait, who's the female lead?
That's another great fucking one.
Oh
But no,
my God.
no claw. You're
She's
scared of the claw.
Wow.
Smoking. And the song, they call me Cuban Pete. I'm the king of the rumba beats. Chicky boom, chicky boom. Oh my god.
Yo, Jim Carrey's like kind of an odd one. I don't know the thoughts on him now, you know?
Well, and this movie's interesting. I mean, they keep calling him a superhero. I feel like he's like scary.
He was
a
like
little bit.
possessed. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, but there's also a whole like mafia underground crime, which I thought, because, you know, The Sopranos, sorry.
Oh my
god.
God.
We'll see how this stacks up and how Tony Soprano would have handled the mask, but
okay.
yes, that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Woo.
Chicka boom, chicka boom.
Chicka boom,
He has a really cute dog in this film.
Oh yeah, he does.
That like saves him from jail or something.
Oh, his dog was a good dog.
Wow,
yeah.
it's gonna be little baby Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, she's little.
Wow. Okay. Well, put your brooms away and look at the full moon and put pacts with your sisters and don't date abusive men.
Yeah, because you know what, Bridge?
Yeah.
If we intuitively communicated and you were like,
Yes.
the moon has a ring, something,
Yes.
shit's going down, we gotta bury a body, or we gotta get rid of a body, I would not do what these women did. And it's just so many other options, I think, for getting away with it. But I would help you because I love you.
Oh, thank you.
And if we use magic, cool. And if not, it's fine. And I might just stab a stake in the guy's heart just in case, you know, because that's how we kill vampires. So I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If you
Bridge.
wow. Okay. If you and I happen to find out that our great grandma put a curse on us, that there's a beetle and all this,
I'm gonna kill the beetle.
I'm wiping out all of that beetle species.
Get an exterminator.
If we haven't figured out how to break the curse, we're absolutely going after the beetles because I think it's their fault, and I'll protect you for that. So you'll have the love of your life forever. No beetles.
Just
and I'll take care of that.
Just do a little sticky trap. You know, the bugs, they're so
Totally.
dumb. They love the sticky trap. So
Absolutely.
yes, and listeners, if you also would help your sister bury a body or get rid of it because you love them and, you know, no questions asked, right? And if you think that, like, family curses are bullshit, especially when your own family made the curse, and, just, like, do the opposite, where you do, like, nice curses, or whatever the label is for that. And if you think that, like, this house should be built, maybe on my property, and then I could live there.
Yes.
And I'll plant lavender and rosemary near my garden.
By your gate.
Know? I'll do that, yeah. If you think all that, you should write us a review.
Hey!
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So there is a form you can fill out. Your request goes in a list, and we look at the list every now and then, and we will do it eventually. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
Give us money that will go to building the house that Katie can live in.
Yeah.
And then you could buy merchandise to wear in that house that Katie lives in.
That's me. I live there. Yeah, greenhouse. Come visit. I'll give you a plant. I don't know. Yes. So check all that out, listeners. And we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for The Mask. Smoking. And I feel like they do
other lines. I can't even remember.
They do
them
like
right now.
swing music. Like, oh man, it just is.
I just remember that club, the bongo club. I don't even know. I don't even know.
Coca Bongo Coca Club, Coco Bongos. I don't know. It's a club. We're gonna go there.
I'm a little nervous. We're gonna like rewatch this movie and be like, wow, this is so sexist and horrible. Why were we as kids watching this?
I do feel like that's gonna happen.
I'm afraid,
but hopefully not the whole time. But we'll see. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I love you.
I love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Blood sister.
Blood pact.
Love you.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.